For nearly 30 years, Suge Knight has carried the memory of the night Tupac Shakur was shot, and now, from behind prison walls, his latest comments have reignited one of hip-hop's most infamous mysteries. The former Death Row Records boss was sitting beside Tupac when the bullets tore through their BMW in Las Vegas in September 1996. Knight survived with a gunshot wound to the head. Tupac did not. For decades, Knight has refused to publicly identify the person he believes was responsible. But now, with the murder case against Duane Keffe D. Davis moving toward trial, Knight has spoken again, and his words have raised even more questions about what really happened that night. The story begins hours before the shooting. Tupac and Knight were in Las Vegas for the Mike Tyson fight. After the match, an altercation erupted inside the MGM Grand involving Orlando "Baby" Lane Anderson, a member of the Southside Compton Crips. Tupac and several Death Row associates attacked Anderson after reportedly recognizing him from an earlier confrontation. That moment became one of the most important pieces of the entire mystery. Later that night, Tupac and Knight left in a black BMW headed toward Club 662. Then, at an intersection on Las Vegas Boulevard, a white Cadillac pulled alongside them. Gunfire erupted. Tupac was struck multiple times. Knight was also wounded. The Cadillac disappeared into the darkness, and the investigation eventually became one of the most famous unsolved murders in music history. For years, investigators struggled to build a case. The murder weapon was never recovered. The Cadillac disappeared. Anderson, who had long been suspected by investigators, was killed in an unrelated shooting in 1998. Then Duane Davis entered the picture. Davis, Anderson's uncle and a former gang figure, had spent years publicly discussing the night Tupac died. He eventually became the only person ever charged with orchestrating the killing. Prosecutors now argue that Davis was involved in the planning and that his own statements helped establish the case against him. His defense, however, disputes the prosecution's interpretation of those statements. And this is where Suge Knight's latest comments become significant. Knight has made it clear that he does not intend to simply walk into court and identify a shooter. His loyalty to Tupac, he says, does not mean cooperating with a system he distrusts. Instead, he appears to believe that Davis created his own problems by repeatedly talking about the murder for decades. But there is another name that has repeatedly appeared around this investigation: Sean "Diddy" Combs. Davis previously made allegations involving Combs and claimed there was a financial motive connected to the shooting. Combs has denied involvement, and authorities have never charged him with Tupac's murder. That distinction is crucial. An allegation is not proof. A name appearing in documents does not establish guilt. And despite decades of speculation, the complete chain of events surrounding Tupac's death remains disputed. What makes the current moment so extraordinary is that Suge Knight is still one of the few people alive who experienced the shooting from inside the car. He remembers the bullets. He remembers Tupac beside him. He remembers desperately trying to get away after the attack. Yet even after all these years, he appears unwilling to tell the courtroom everything he knows. That silence may frustrate investigators, but it also reveals something about the man Suge Knight has always been. His loyalty to Tupac remains stronger than his willingness to cooperate. Now, as the case against Keffe D moves forward, the world is once again asking the same question. After nearly 30 years, are we finally getting closer to the truth about who killed Tupac Shakur? Or are the most important answers still sitting behind prison walls with the man who was there? Only time, and the evidence presented in court, can answer that.